Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Gusti Halmanur Azizah. Thank you very much for your attention to my presentation of research proposal. This is the outline of my research proposal. It contains 4 important parts of the research. And this is the title of my proposal: The Analysis of Idiomatic Expressions in Jane Eyre Novel by Charlotte Bronte. This research investigates about idiom and idiomatic expression. Idiom is an expression whose meaning cannot be inferred from the meanings of its parts. And idiomatic expressions refers to the sentence that is established, accepted, and used by native speakers of the language with a fixed structure and meaning. And then we talk about objectives of the study. The researcher finds out the type of idiomatic expressions, then finds out about the classifications of idiomatic expression, and then determined the connotative meaning of idioms. The researchers list from the type, then classification, and then about the connotative meaning of idiomatic expression. Here are the sources of my research that I use as the references materials. Then we talk about analysis of idiomatic expressions. It contains 4 parts in this analysis. First is defining the idiom. The researcher have to know the idiom well before do the research. And then the second, knowing the types of idiom. The researcher found some types of idiom in this research. And then the third, classifying the idiom. The researcher classifies the idiom one by one by noticing the grammatical form of the sentence or word. And the fourth, knowing the meaning of idiom. After the 3 parts of analysis of idiomatic expressions, the researcher finds the meaning of the idiom. And then here are the research questions of this research proposal. The researcher finds out the type, the classification, and then the connotative meaning of idiom that is used in novel genre by Charlotte Bronte. And then we move to research methodology. It contains 4 parts of research methodology. Research design. The researcher used library research as the method of this research. So, the researcher finds many books that related to the research and use it as references materials. Data and data source. For the data, the researchers use some words of idiom that found in novel as the data. And for data source, the researcher choose the novel Untitled Chapter by Charlotte Bronte. Data collection. The researcher uses the purposes of judgment sampling techniques for data collection. So it contains 4 parts. The first, the researcher prepares the data of the research and then determines the data and find the appropriate data for this research. After that, the researcher selects the appropriate data through this research. And after doing the 3 parts of data collection, the researcher reads the data source comprehensively. Then we talk about credibility. For this one, the researcher used theoretical triangulation as the techniques of credibility. These techniques means the use of several possible theoretical interpretations of the study in the same data. And the researchers use novel as the same data. And for dependability, the researcher used audit trial as the techniques of dependability. Audit trial means checking the consistency of the study process and achieving detailed recorder of the decision made before and during the research. It means the researcher writes the data and then analyze the data in the written form or recording form. And then we move to data analysis and interpretation. The researcher has 5 parts in this data analysis and interpretation. The first, the researcher defines the research questions. it's about the three research questions. It's about the type, classifications, and the meaning. And then the research defines the sample of the data that is found in the novel. And then the research defines the units. For example, the researcher reads the whole sentence or paragraphs of the novel and finds the idiom in that paragraphs. And then the researcher constructs the categories of the idiom. What categories that in this form and in another form. And then after doing 4 parts of data analysis and interpretation, the researcher summarizes all the data that has found in the research. The data is written in the paragraph or sentence form and the summary is used as the result of the research. So that is the end of my presentation of research proposal. Thank you so much for your attention and have a nice day.